Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at my inked pens for July 2024. These are the pens in my pen case that are inked up but not in my everyday rotation. So let's jump on in with the first pen. We start off with the Jinhao 80. This is in black. Very, very similar to a Lamy 2000, isn't it? I do like this. It feels nice. It's very, very light. The nib on here isn't the nib that came with it. I've swapped the nib. What we've now got is a Lamy broad nib. It's black. It goes with the pen, doesn't it? It looks really well. And this pen is a cartridge converter, unlike the Lamy 2000, which is a piston filler. So we've got here a Jinhao 80, and it's a broad nib. If you keep your eyes on the channel, I do have a video coming out where I show the process I went through to swap the nibs over. The ink is by Diamond, and it's writer's blood. Do you know, I love this combo now. I love the way this pen feels. I think the ink might be a bit dark, but that's something I can do and look at in the future. The price for this pen, it's a whopping $5 Aussie. Now, yes, you could say you've got to also add on the cost of the nib, which is about $15 to $20, but it's not a bad pen at $5. And then I used an existing pen with a nib where I don't like using that pen, so I popped it on here. It writes lovely. So this is the Jinhao 80. We're sticking with Jinhao, and we're going for a Jinhao 100 Centennial. This is in the deep sea blue colour. Very nice pen. Cartridge converter. There we go. The Jinhao 100s are one of my favourite pens. It fits really, really well in the hand there. So we've got here a Jinhao 100. It's a Centennial, but I'll just write 100. It's a medium nib. The ink in here is Pure Pens Celtic Sea. Lovely, like turquoisey, bluey ink here. The price for this pen is 22 Aussie dollars. Do enjoy my Jinhao 100s. I enjoy them so much that the next pen is also a Jinhao 100. This is in the white version. Slightly different price on this, which we'll see when we come to doing the prices. Just love the way this looks with the gold trim. So again, it's cartridge converter, identical in every terms to that first one. And here's the nib. So we've got that Jinhao medium nib on here as well. So this is a Jinhao 100. Again, medium nib. The ink in here is by Diamond, and it's sapphire blue. I like this. It's a blue, but it's not the blue that you think of as a standard blue. So to me, it's a little bit more attractive. This pen, when I got it, we're looking at 25 Aussie dollars. Still good value. I love my Jinhao 100s. I've got about 5 of them now. So that's the last Jinhao for the day. Up next, we're still staying in China. This is the Fuliwen 017, and the colour, or the combination of colours, is called Starry Night. Very busy, isn't it? Looks really bright. It's another cartridge converter pen. There we go. Still got metal fittings in here, so not something you could even think about eyedroppering. Another very comfortable pen. The section does feel a little bit thin to me, but not unusably so. Got that gorgeous number 6 nib there. This is a Fuliwen nib. So we've got a Fuliwen. And compared to the Jinhao nibs, this is like writing on glass. So the model is 017, and it's a medium nib. The ink is Diamond, Aqua Lagoon. Beautiful colour this. I really like this ink. Price for this pen, 38 Aussie dollars. So we've taken quite a jump there in price. But still, it's a pretty pen. There's a load of different patterns available. I don't know, I may invest in another one. The only downside to me, this nib just too smooth. Going to jump to India for the next pen. This is the Canwrite Heritage, and this one is the green swirl pattern. Piston filling pen. To fill it, you unscrew the blind cap. That then reveals this, which is the piston knob. You then do the twisting. I'm not going to do it because it's got ink in it. When you're done, that cap goes back on. I think that's a brilliant idea. You're not going to accidentally trigger the mechanism with this one. We've also got an ink window. Quite a usable ink window. There we go. I'll just lift it up a bit closer so you can get a closer look at that. Then we've got this gorgeous pattern here on the material. Really pretty. The section, beautiful, nice and wide, really comfortable to hold. We've got a number 6 Canwrite nib on here. So this is the Canwrite Heritage. The nib on here is an extra broad. The ink we've got is by not Pen Chalet, it's by Pure Pens. It's part of their Chartist series, which are actually made for them by Diamond, and it's called John Frost. Price for this pen, about 42 Aussie dollars. It's beautiful to write with, nice feedback on this. The ink, not sure if it's going to show on camera. So it's like this gorgeous dark green, but then there's a lovely red sheen to it. Hopefully that's coming through on the camera. I can see it with my eye, but whether it comes through, I'm not 100% certain. Let's pop that back down. So that was the Canwrite Heritage. Let me just straighten this up a bit. We're jumping back to China for a few pens. The next one, this is by Wingsung, and this is the Wingsung 630 in the cigar shape. There is also a flat-ended shape as well. It's a gorgeous wide pen. It's a piston filling pen. Here's our ink window, so we can see a very usable ink window. Hard to see because there's ink in there, but to my eye, I can see what the ink level is. Lovely wide, very wide section on this, and we've got a number 8 size nib here. I love the two-tone nibs. Very comfortable to use, nice fit in my hand. So this is a Wingsung .630, which has got a fine nib. The ink is by Diamond, and it's mulled wine. I love writing with this pen. I love writing with this nib. It's very, very nice. Price for this pen, you're looking at about 46 Aussie dollars. Love this. I say it's such a big pen, very, very comfortable to use. So that's the Wingsung 630. Next up, we've got a Mahjong or a Moonman nib. This is the Moonman M800. This is the purple version. Beautiful patterning. Slightly translucent. So here we've got a load of translucency. Very similar to a Leonardo Memento Zero. Very highly inspired by that Memento Zero line. This is a cartridge converter. So there's the converter there. You can see the ink sitting in there quite nicely. We've got that older style Leonardo section. I really like this. I hold my pens down fairly low. This section just shaped so my fingers fit perfectly. And then we've got a number 6 nib. This particular one is a bot nib. There's 2 options with this pen. You can either get a Moonman nib or a bot nib. I've got 2 of each. This one is one of the bot ones. So we've got a Mahjong M800. It's a fine nib. One of the downsides with this pen, no matter which one you go for, the widest nib you can get is a fine. The ink in here is by Diamond, and it's Harmony. The price for this pen, you're looking at 52 Aussie dollars. Really nice. I love the way we get this line. Just pop this back together. This is one of the issues you can see there sometimes. I don't quite catch the threads, so I have issues putting the cap on. But eventually when they do catch, it goes on really nicely. So that's a Moonman M800. We've now got the first of two Pen BBS pens. This is the Pen BBS 487. This is the magnetic fill-in. One of the things with this, I said the idea is it's magnetic fill-in, so that should work. The magnet's not really strong enough to drag that down. I have had from one of the viewers some comments saying about he got some stronger magnets and it works really well. So that's something I haven't yet invested in, but I think I'll do that because I love this pen. It's such a nice looking pen. Very nice fill-in mechanism. We're not wasting a lot of room with a fill-in mechanism, but we're getting the benefits of that piston style mechanism. How I fill it at the moment is I unscrew the section and just eyedropper it. It works. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how I fill it as long as I'm filling it. Section, slightly hourglass shape. I find this very nice and comfortable to hold. It's a nice pen size. Again, we've got a number 6 nib. This is a Pen BBS nib. So we've got here a Pen BBS 487. Do you know, I've never had any problems with this pen writing. It's so nice. Although it looks it, it's actually a fine nib, but to me it writes more like a medium. The ink is by Diamond and it's Pick Me Up. The cost for this pen is 53 Aussie dollars. When I last looked on AliExpress, I couldn't find any for sale, so they may have stopped making this model. But yeah, I really like this. And the pattern that it's in is called Canwrite. Very attractive looking pen when it's empty. Beautiful pen when it's writing. So I've just realised I've been telling you about the wrong pen. I took my pens out in the wrong order. So let's correct this. We'll put a line through there. I'm just going to redo the writing. So it is a Pen BBS 487. It is a fine nib. It is a Diamond ink, but it's not Pick Me Up. I didn't think it looked right. This is Silent Night. And then the price for this pen is 65 Aussie dollars. There, that looks better, doesn't it? We've got the right details. I don't know. I think I should be fired. So my second Pen BBS pen. This is an aluminium pen. This is the 323. This is in this beautiful brown colour. I love the shape, so we're like undulating. It looks so nice. This one is a cartridge converter. There's a converter. It does come with a converter. All metal fittings. The section carries on with that same material, and it's a very nice pen to hold. So it came with the same nib, a fine nib. I've swapped it. It's a number 6 nib. So what I've actually got on here is a Goulet pens. It's a Yoho made nib and it's a broad nib. I do think it looks nice together. Very comfortable to hold, very comfortable to write with. The section again, just shaped perfectly for my hands. So here we've got a Pen BBS 323. This is a very smooth nib. So it's a broad nib. This ink is Diamond Pick Me Up. Doesn't that look better? It's a brown coloured ink and I think it looks really nice. And when it dries, we can see a nice green sheen with it as well. The price for this is the one that was 53 Aussie dollars. There we are, we got it right. And obviously we need to add on extra for the fact that it's got a different nib. But it's still beautiful to write with. I love this combo as well. So that's a Pen BBS 323. Next we're heading to Taiwan. And we've got here a Twsbi Diamond 580. Now, I'm going to agitate this as I'm talking because this is a shimmer ink in here. So I want to try and get that shimmer and get that into suspension. So hopefully we see some of that as we write. Piston filling pen. I love the fact that it's demonstrated so we can actually see this. And there's the mechanism. So I would say about a third of the body is taken up with the piston. I don't mind that. This is the all clear model. Section is clear as well. I do like that. Section does feel a little bit on the thin side, but again, I don't mind. It's more than writable with. Then the nib on here, this is a broad nib. On these 580, you can actually buy replacement nib units, and you just unscrew one and screw the other one in. So hopefully we've got that into suspension. So we've got a Twsbi Diamond 580 with a broad nib. The ink in here is by Diamond, and it's Tranquility. Just going to do a little bit of a scribble there, see if we can see any of that shimmer coming through. The price of this pen is, we're taking a little bit of a jump because we're jumping up to 85 Aussie dollars. I do think it's worth it. I like the Ecos. The Ecos are a little bit cheaper, but I've got to be honest, I think if I was to buy another Twsbi, it would be another 580. As much as I like the Ecos, I think this is just a better feeling pen. So that's the Diamond 580. Let's take a quick look. Can we see any shimmer in that ink? So hopefully you can see it as I'm handling this. There's a massive amount of gold shimmer coming out. Certainly where I've written the Twsbi and Diamond, then it starts to fade off a bit. We're still seeing the load there in Diamond, and again getting the light right a load in Tranquility. So loads of that shimmer coming through. Just get this lined up again. Next up, it's a US pen, but I believe made in China. It's the Nahvalur, and this is the Schuylkill model. The colour of this is called Chromis Teal. Piston filling pen. Do have an ink window. I do wish the ink window was a little bit wider. It's usable, but I do sometimes struggle with that. Gorgeous pen. I love this material, this Chromis Teal. We've got browns, we've got blues. Really pretty. The material carries on down to the section. Nice width there to the section, nice and comfortable to use. I've got a couple of Schuylkills. Really like using both of them. The nib on here, there we go. We've got a number 6 size nib. Now, I'm looking at my previous screen, and on that previous ink, I can see loads of gold now already. So we've got here a Nahvalur. Very smooth nib. On this Rhodia paper, as you can see there, I do sometimes get a problem with it. It's the Schuylkill, and it's a medium nib. The ink is by Herban, and it's Diablo Month. Price for this pen, 96 Aussie dollars. I've had this pen filled for quite a while. It seems to take a lot of ink and really does last well. Lovely looking pen though. So that's a Nahvalur Schuylkill. The final pen under 100 Aussie dollars. This is again an American pen. Again, I believe made in China. This is the Monteverde Ritma. This is the olive colour. Love this pen. It's a metal pen. There's a lot of weight to it. The cap, it's slightly magnetic, but I really struggled to get it to actually catch the magnet. You got to get down quite low, then you get that. I'll fetch this up to the camera and we get that snap. All metal body, that's why it's so heavy. Converter again. The nib, made by Yoho for Monteverde. This one here, there, it's black. Looks quite nice with this gunmetal grey. So we've got here a Monteverde Ritma with a broad nib. The ink is by Diamond, and it's Mistletoe. Price for this pen is 98 Aussie dollars. I didn't show you the section. The section really nice and wide, but very slippy because it's metallic. One thing with this pen is I've found it doesn't like shimmer inks. They don't seem to work very well at all. I get loads of flow issues whenever I put a shimmer in here. But with standard inks like this Mistletoe, no issues, writes beautifully. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. We're now going to take a look at my pens that I've got inked up that are over 100 Aussie dollars. The first one, this is a handmade pen. This is by That Pen Bloke. It's the fountain pen model. This material is called Something Special, and I'll tell you something, it is something special. It's material that he's poured it himself. Really nice pen. Cartridge converter, but looking at the fittings, if you wanted to, you could try eyedropper in it. I don't intend to, but with the converter it works really, really well. The material colour comes on down into the section. Then we've got a Yoho nib on here. This is a broad Yoho nib. So That Pen Bloke, he's an Australian maker. Really recommend that you check out his website. It's the fountain pen. And it's in broad. The ink is by Diamond. And it's Flame. Beautiful orange ink. As I say, we're going up in price. We're up to 190 Aussie dollars now. I did mean to leave a line there. I don't know. I'm not doing very well today. I'll move this down a little bit. There we go. Writes really well. Nice standard ink. Caps really well. It's a big pen. It's a long pen. Beautiful to write with. Beautiful to use. So that's the That Pen Bloke fountain pen. Another Narwhal pen this time. This is the Narwhal 365. It's in the Nautilus shape. So this was from 2021. The material is Jonathan Brooks Primary Manipulation 3.5. And the model is called the Cano Crystals. Really nice. Love this colour. Another piston filling one. Here we've got the piston mechanism. Here we've got the piston mechanism. Here we've got the ink window. Again, I wish the ink window was a little bit more on the wider side. So the nib on this, I've swapped the nib. This is a Yoho nib, a Yoho broad. Did come with a medium nib. I wasn't really happy with a medium nib. It was fine, it was okay, but I just wanted a broad nib on here. I love it with this broad nib. Material goes all the way through. In the hand, again, we're talking a real nice fit. So this is the Narwhal 365 from 2021 with a broad nib. The ink is by Herban and it's Terre de Fouet. Price for this pen, 241 Aussie dollars. I don't think you can get it now from a retailer. I think it's one of the ones you'd have to go to a second-hand place to try and get one. It's very nice though. I love this Nautilus shape. Next up, we've got a Benu pen. This is the Benu Talisman in Dragon's Blood. Beautiful colours. My only Benu. I know it's sparkly, but I think the sparkles on this work really well. This is what I call a Christmas pen. It's a pen I'll use every December. You know, you've got your reds and your greens. Just reminds me of the Christmas tree. Cartridge converter pen. There we go. Although it's plastic fittings, it's another one I wouldn't dream of eyedropper in. That converter works really well. Got a black section. My hand, my fingers, everything fits really nicely with this pen. Really comfortable. And I love this nib. It's made by Schmidt. Beautiful nib. It's a broad nib. So we've got here a Benu Talisman with a broad nib. The ink is by Pelican. It's part of their Edelstein series. And it's Garnet. Beautiful ink, looks really well with this pen. Price wise, you're looking at 255 Aussie dollars. Again, because of the way this nib works with this rhodia paper, I do get the occasional issue with skipping. I don't get it with most of the papers I use, but where there's a bit of a coating, I do sometimes get a problem. So that's a Benu Talisman. We're going to jump to Japan now, and we're going to have a Platinum 3776 Century. This is in the Burgoyne colour. Slightly translucent, you can just about see through it. Love this colour. Cartridge converter. Nice fit in the hand. Section, a little bit on the thin side. It is a small pen, just about usable. I do sometimes post it. I do find though it could be a little bit heavy posted, but it's not too bad unposted. The nib, 14 karat gold. It's a medium nib. It's a Japanese medium nib, and it writes like it. It's still nice, just a very thin line. So we've got here a platinum. Beautiful to write with. Feels fairly stiff, but oh, it's beautiful. Really nice feedback. So the 3776 Century. It's medium, and it's 14 karat gold. The ink is by Diamond, and it's Oxblood. Do love this combo. I think it works really well together. This pen, $288. I am tempted to get another Platinum 3776, but if I do, I want it with a music nib. But it's really nice, really enjoyable to write with. Next up, we're going back to Germany for the Lamy 2000. So our first pen that we looked at, the Jinhao 80, was very much inspired by this. This is the real deal. This is the Lamy 2000. Piston filling pen. The piston mechanism is here. It's hard to see where it joins to the body. It's that well made. We've got a very tiny ink window. So that's one of my complaints. The ink window, very hard to see. Got the metal section. This macrolon material feels so nice. Nice fit in the hand. Nice fit in my fingers. The nib, there we go, sticks out. This is a broad nib, although it does write more like a stub. So this is a Lamy 2000. Very smooth. I love writing with this pen. It's got a broad nib. The ink in here is by Diamond, and it's Writer's Blood. Wow, this is so nice. So to show what I say about the nib, this is the line going down. This is a line going across. So you can see what I mean by it's got that stub nature to it. The price for this pen, you're looking about 316 Aussie dollars. Not cheap. Oh, I didn't put there. It's 14 karat gold. I'll put it over here. 14K AU. I don't know. I was jumping ahead there where I put the nib size. Do love this pen. Very, very nice. Nearly there. 2 more pens to go. Next up, we've got the Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. This is dark Hawaii. I love this. Looks really, really nice. Piston filling pen. No ink window. That's one of the downsides with this. I'm often using this and suddenly it'll stop writing because it's run out of ink. Nice shape. It's got that older style section. I do love this. Just perfect for my fingers, as I said earlier on, with the M800. Then we've got this number 6 nib made for Leonardo by Yoho, but branded Leonardo. It's such a nice fit, really is. So we've got here a Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. What a long name. With a medium nib. The ink is by Diamond. And it's upon a star. Price for this pen, 377 Aussie dollars. I do like the colour match. I think it goes really well together. The beauty with this pen, it's got browns as well, so you're not limited to just blue inks. So that's that Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. My last pen, we take a massive jump in price. This is my most expensive pen. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens. This is the Dark Age version. Oh, I can't say how much I love this pen. It is so nice. Vacuum filling pen. So you would loosen off the top, pull it up, dip it in the ink, slowly push it down. When it gets to the bottom, you can feel it where it opens out inside and the ink gets sucked up. Really nice. Hook safe mechanism. So to take it off, that's it. Only a little tiny turn. Very quick to take on and off. This lava material, oh, beautiful it is. Beautiful to hold. It's a weighty pen. You can definitely feel it. Again, I like the weight. The section, look at that, just right for my hands. We've got this beautiful here where we've got the hook safe. So your fingers, although they're resting on it, it doesn't dig in. The nib, 18 karat gold. There we go. There's a beautiful nib. Looks slightly dark as well, which fits in so well with the rest of the pen. I just love this pen. So this is the Visconti Homo Sapiens. It's singing as I'm writing. Broad, 18 karat gold. The ink is by Diamond. And it's Fireside Snug. So Fireside. I'm going to have to go on to the next line. Snug. This is not a cheap pen. This is very definitely a grail pen. 1,141 Aussie dollars. It is not cheap. Is it worth it? I've got to be honest, I think it is. I think it's just, I can't really say enough about how much I love this pen. And this ink with it. You know, we've got lava. We've got the black here of the lava when it's solidified. But when you see lava when it's flowing, it's got that orangey colour, hasn't it? And that's what this Fireside Snug reminds me of. Until I've finished this Fireside Snug ink, this is the only ink that will be going in this pen. Once it's done, I'll find another orange ink to use. But yeah, absolutely love that. So they're the pens that I've got in my pen case that aren't currently in my EDC for July of 2024. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What pens have you got inked up? Please, can you drop a comment down below? Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.